Welcome back to the fourth and the powerful session of Women Leadership Embrace Your Powers. Now, I hope in the previous third session you have answered certain questions about self and answered certain questions about how to declutter your thoughts, right? Now, today we will learn about four interesting communication styles and how those communication styles really have an impact in our lives as women, right? So let's go ahead. I will show you certain pictures of some ladies and you need to tell me what you think about these. So what do you think about this first lady? Yeah, so I'm giving you time to think. This lady looks very confused, looks angry or looks agitated. Not really angry, but she looks a little confused, agitated, etc. The second lady, it's very obvious to see that the second lady looks very angry, extremely aggressive, right? Moving on to the third picture. What does this third picture look like to you? The third picture looks extremely doubtful, which means that she's trying to show something and she is something else. And the fourth picture is of a confident woman who knows what she's doing and saying. Right. With that, let's move to some interesting communication styles and how they matter to us in our lives. So first one is this lady is a submissive communicator, and that's why she's looking so upset or so confused, because this is the trait of this kind of a communicator. If you are a submissive communicator, you do not pay attention to your feelings and opinions, but you accept the opinions of others. Now, this is a little common in women. Some of the women who do not really pay attention to their needs, they just go with the flow, and the kind of sentences that they would use would be, it's okay, you decide, I'm okay with anything, and so on. The reasons would be here. So if you are a submissive communicator, you allow others to make decisions on your behalf. You're sitting in a meeting, you're deciding for taking some important decisions for an outing, for a project, or and so on. You may let me others make the decisions and you just listen. Whenever you have to speak and you gather the courage to speak, your body language and your tone is very low. Your posture is not that great. So your posture is poor, you have a low self-esteem, you keep thinking about what will people think if I say something, if I share my views, what will people uh, if people will blame me or if people will not like it, and all of that. So they are a little image concerned, but yet you have a low self-esteem, and that's the very reason because of which you may end up feeling anxious, frustrated, at the losing end of communication because you could not put forward your views very clearly. Now, why am I sharing this in terms of only women? Is because we as women have come across this situation many a times. So when it comes to maybe a newly married woman who just got into a new family, she may take on a submissive position for certain time period of time where the reason could be because she does not know people and she is not really familiar with the family members. She may become submissive and not really share her views very openly. Uh, the other reason could be that you're new to a work culture. You're in a settled in a work culture that's quite new to you, and you feel like there is experienced personalities all across, and I am somebody who's so new to it, right? So I would take on this submissive position. Well, I would also say that this may happen to men as well. However, with women, like I said, because we have so many phases that we have to go through, uh, career, and then the marriage, and then the motherhood, and then the midlife, and so on and so forth, this situation may arise in our lives even more often. And the awareness of this is extremely important, because the more aware you are, the better it will be for you to get out of this situation sooner, right? So whenever you feel that you are getting passive, you're not able to share or express your views, talk to someone and find out why this is happening. Or again, get back to your diary, write down and find out why this is happening, how long it will take for you to get out of this. Well, I have in my personal life seen a lot of women getting into new families after marriage and taking almost a year or two to get out of that submissive communication, and because of which they end up wasting a lot of time, because they always give in to people's suggestion, and that really makes them sacrifice in their career. So please be aware, and as soon as that awareness dawns, take an action to speak up for yourself, to speak up for your rights, to talk about your ideas and your opinions. It's okay if you go wrong. It's okay if people want to judge you. Let them do their job, but you do your job. Now, secondly, I would also want to discuss what you should do as an empowered woman when you see people like these around you. In your office, for example, you see a submissive woman who is not able to share her views in meetings, and so on and so forth. You are the one who would be empowering her with what she can do to take on a better form of communication style. So you are the one who can empower her and tell her that these are certain things that you can share in the meeting, or tell me what your views are or opinions are, and I will prompt you to share these things in front of an important occasion. So whenever you find such women, kindly empower them, in case you do not have this kind of a communication style. Yes. So moving on, we have our next one, which is the aggressive communicator. Now, if you are an aggressive communicator, what happens really? You express your opinions without any regard for others, which means you get into a selfish position where you only regard yourself. This is also not a good position to be in, and this may also happen due to a new position that you may have acquired, or a recent success that you may have got, or you may be the only one getting a kind of a success that shoots up the arrogance level. It can also be due to a lot of hidden insecurities that on an outside or externally you come across as a very aggressive person, and you communicate very aggressively. So there can be both the reasons. Please analyze yourself and see why uh, people take you as an aggressive person, and why your communications are so aggressive. Now let's look at certain things that you do as an aggressive person or as an aggressive woman. You begin to disrespect the opinions of other people. It can be your children, your colleague, your family members, seniors, etc. You blame, you criticize, which is not the great thing to be in. You have an intimidating body language as well. So your body language continuously says, I am always right. It's either my way or highway. And hence, at times you're disliked by people. People get scared and they would only come to you when it is important. You are not really respected. You don't really build healthy relations, right? So this kind of a thing is very dangerous. This is a dangerous place to be in, and I am not saying that you would be always like that, but it could be a part of your life where you behave very aggressively. It may also happen that you're extremely aggressive uh, at home and passive at work. So if you are taking on an aggressive personality, please make sure that you calm down, you understand, you read yourself, and you take on the next steps possible. Okay, so moving on to the third style, but before we move on, I also wanted to tell you about how to deal with people, if you get into this kind of a company or in this kind of an atmosphere where you have to deal with an aggressive personality, right? So that's where I want to give you one very important tip, is because it's because you are normally surrounded by such people. You would find one or the other person in your personal or professional life who is very aggressive. Now, in case this person is not a threat to your self respect, you can continue your conversation, work related, or whatever important conversation is required. Continue that. However, if this person is a threat to your self respect, which means he or she is talking to you in a derogatory manner, this person is very abusive, or this person is continuously blaming you, criticizing you, etc., you need to withdraw yourself from being this with this person. You need to first of all explain that this kind of a behavior is not acceptable. If this person continues, you tell this person and also people involved that you will not be able to continue interacting with this person, and you move a step back. Moving forward, the third and a very interesting communication style is your indirect aggressive. It is also called as passive aggressive. uh, Now, if you are a passive aggressive woman, you appear very, very cooperative, but you are actually a manipulator. So there's a deceptive style of communication that you are portraying in front of people. So as a passive aggressive communicator, you are silent on the surface, but you're very, very aggressive within. So you don't want to showcase that aggression, but you want to do it in a very nice and subtle way so people don't understand it. You act sarcastic, so you may pass snide or sarcastic comments. You try to get your own way, but not directly, without anybody noticing or interfering. And hence, people get confused when they find out they do not want to have a healthy relation with you. So, ladies, remember the times when you may have also taken this kind of a position. It may happen with all of us that, we have a third person about whom we want to talk bad. We have one person, we have probably two people, and when we're talking to this first person, we want to talk bad about the second person, about how bad the behavior is, how bad the dressing sense is, how bad the professionalism is, and so on and so forth. So uh, please remember, I am sure we all have taken this kind of a role in our life, or we have got our work done indirectly by making somebody else bad. So if we are doing this, especially in an organization, it will lead to a very bad reputation, and people will start shying away from us. Like we discussed in the previous style, that which is aggressive, people maintain a distance. Here also the same thing will happen to you. Secondly, if you're doing it in your personal life, again, you will end up spoiling relationships. You will not build healthy relation in your personal life. Now, I want to also talk about the other side of the coin, where you are faced with certain people who are like this. It may be very difficult for you to understand at first, and hence you may be tempted to share more information with these people when they talk bad about somebody. You may also be tempted to talk bad about the same person if you have had bad experiences with this person. Uh, it may also be the scenario where these people will take undue advantage of the information that you provide to them. So the suggestion would be, anyway, avoid gossips and grapevine, especially at work, and also possible in your personal relationships, because there are other many important and interesting things to do in life. If we focus upon them, that will make it more productive. So if you find out that the person is like this, again, maintain a healthy distance with this person. Talk only what is required. Do not really go over the board. Okay, and the next one, which is the best one, is your assertive communication. If you are a woman who has an assertive communication style, this is the best thing that you can have everywhere, because you start respecting the opinions, values, and rights of yourself and the others. Now, this is something which may be lacking in many women, that they do not value the rights of themselves. If you are an assertive woman, you start doing it, right? So, how you do it is you always express your opinions freely and allow others to do it also, unlike the aggressive person who does not allow the others to do so. You want to create a win-win situation where you are heard and you are giving the chance to the other person to hear as well. You are very honest, direct, confident, and caring. You listen well, you speak clearly, you have a good posture and a body language that really creates a lasting impression on the other people. And that's why people start respecting you. They develop healthy working relationships with you. You feel in control, you feel no guilt inside, because you've said whatever was there inside, but in a very nice manner. Okay, so this is the best place to be in, ladies, and I would request all of you to be more and more like this, where you are able to share your opinions, express well, and so on and so forth. Now, if you are with such kind of a boss or a colleague or somebody at home who is like this, I think it is sorted as well, because you will be always happy with these kind of people. They will always respect